Hey, yes, we're live.
What up, pregame crew?
What's going on?
Oh, I can't wait. Another Victory Monday.
Yeah. Well,
What?
yeah, but not everybody won though.
What do you mean?
The girls team lost.
Well, I know, but there's a lot to celebrate.
Yes, there is.
Husker hoops, baseball sweep, RPI boost.
Yeah, how about that?
A lot of comeback. I can't wait to talk to him about that. Comeback wins.
It's fun stuff. How you feeling today?
I'm good. It's Monday, man. It is Monday. Pretty solid weekend.
Good.
I am ready. We got a lot of fun stuff today.
This clock is broken here.
Yeah, I've got 50. Do you have a clock?
I do have a clock, but this one in here is broke.
Is it the tick, tick, tick?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why they even those still exist. Why do those still exist? That clock might be as old as KFOR today.
It might be.
KFOR officially is 100 today. Good morning, Claire.
What up, Claire?
Good morning. Yeah, KFOR is officially 100 today.
Today is the day. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I can maybe pull a surprise for us actually at some point. A little birthday surprise.
Morning, Ernesto.
Ernesto, what's good? Ernesto, I think, is making name tags for us.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Ernesto said he was going to maybe try and go up to Charleston and see the boys play over the weekend.
A little sweepage. Sweep.
Surprised we're not going out into Florida to play any baseball.
6 out of 7 now, is that right?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah. He's working right now. Are you working?
He said working, and yes, I am. Working.
I love it. Listening to the show while working.
9 to 5. Victory Monday. Yes,
yeah,
Ryan. Yeah, buddy.
How do you like that?
How do you like that? Claire, I was literally going to make those last week.
Oh, now Claire's making the name tags.
I'll make them. Let's go. We will put a bunch of flair on. You can see it on the stream.
I got a ton of cuts on my hands.
Whoa.
From hey, watch it.
Whoa.
From opening beer bottles for 6 hours.
It was worth it, wasn't
it? Damn right it was.
Just a pile of cash.
Damn right it was. Which you didn't stop by, of course.
I apologize. I was unable to even get downtown.
Yeah, whatever.
So I am sorry.
Whatever.
We had a situation. I'm going to be down. Don't worry about it. When's my next opportunity?
Probably for the NCAA tournament.
Which we need to figure out if we're doing something.
I know.
I bet a lot of people
like
ask
I said, I'm working that Thursday.
People, you could do the show from somewhere, can't we?
We could do it from Tavern while I'm working.
Yeah, but when do you work? What I'm saying is that we need to be somewhere to do the show and just stay like we've done before.
We could do that at Tav. We'll figure it out. Maybe we should do something for the Big Ten tournament, too. That'd be fun.
Like just a Big Ten show.
Yeah.
On the day Nebraska plays the double bye.
Stand there. Stay there.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Coming live from the VIP, heard the nightlife, lost life without me. Most feds in the state want to see by me. The whole city got.
Good morning, Lincoln, Nebraska. Happy Victory Monday. Welcome in the Morning Hookup. Bill Hooks. Will Wilson made it through the weekend. Will, what's up, my friend?
Hey, what's going on? Happy Monday.
Oh, boy. This is awesome. You guys are already bringing it on a Monday on the stream right now, so we appreciate it. We're going to talk a lot of Huskers here momentarily. Actually, the first two segments. Actually, the entire day is Nebraska, whether it be Nebraska basketball, Nebraska baseball. And we're going to talk in the third segment today. We're going to talk about Pinnacle Bank Arena.
The Vault.
PBA. What it's meant, not only to the Huskers, but about just what it's meant to Lincoln so far.
Really? Yeah.
Because it's done something for the teams that are able to play there that I thought would never happen.
Okay. I
thought would never happen.
That should be good. I like that. I'm excited for that.
So we'll have that in a whole lot of you. So
yeah, what was the weekend like, man?
It was good. It was it was like busy. I played golf on Friday, which is windy. It was fine. Saturday, I don't know. What did we do Saturday? What was Saturday? There's a lot going on. Today. It was so nice. Garage cleaning, all that stuff.
Oh, you clean the garage?
What's that time? Start cleaning stuff out. Start moving stuff around.
There's,
Sunday we went did the church thing, and then we had lunch, and then and I unfortunately did not make it to the game last night. I watched it. We had a little ticket issue. My son, who I always go with, overextended his invites.
Classic.
But I was not there, unfortunately, and I know that PBA was rocking like it always is. And but yeah, man, it was good. How about yours?
It was fun. Yeah. By the way, congrats on cleaning the garage. That is a big deal to me. Growing up, my family, our garage was always dirty.
Yeah,
like so much stuff where you couldn't park in it. And
really?
So when the day came where we would clean the garage, it was just the best feeling in the world.
And those are best. Like, it's instant gratification stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big deal when we could fit a car in the garage.
Yeah,
so that was always a miracle for my family. So congrats on cleaning
miracle.
the garage. Yeah,
nice.
it really was. The weekend was good. House sat for my parents on Saturday,
where they out partying?
Nah, they were out for something, out in Kozad for something.
Oh.
So I worked Friday and Saturday. Was a good day, good weekend. So got my ass kicked yesterday.
That's right,
but it was worth it.
Stacking that green, wasn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice, good stuff. By the way, if you're appreciated by taking the time, if you want to follow us on the stream at KFOR Radio, at KFOR Sports, you can jump on there, make comments.
Happy birthday, KFOR
100 years old today. But you can go to YouTube as well at the Morning Hookup, and we need to revive that a little bit, the challenge, because I'm ready. I've been ready.
Oh wow, okay.
I've been ready. I've been sitting here ready.
All right, let's talk about that as the week goes
also,
on.
I want to confirm or deny, because they're making name tags. Like, Claire's making name tags, and Ernesto's making name tags.
By the way, I don't know
Little Willie.
I don't know how this came.
I don't know.
I remember last week somebody brought up name tags, and now people are actually making name tags for us.
Little Willie has come out from Claire. Is that your nickname? Little Willie.
No, that has never been my nickname. She's lying.
Little Willie.
Don't believe her. Do not believe her.
Little Will.
Never Little Will. Now, yes, that was common because we would hang out with a family who also had a Will, and he was Big Will. Okay, so that's actually accurate. But Little Willie, no.
I'll take Little. I think Little Willie is way better than Little Will.
Little Willie's the name. Yeah, whatever. Actually, we'll just keep going.
Keep going. Last night, if you got a chance, down at Pinnacle Bank Arena, Nebraska gets revenge. Finishes out the home season 67-56. Go 18-1 at home. Most home victories in the history of Nebraska basketball. Currently, I believe right now, tied for the most home wins in the entire country.
Yeah,
right now, and they got it done. It wasn't pretty at times, but this was a gritty, hard fought. They out-toughed Rutgers in this entire match. And the seniors did senior stuff at the moments when you needed them the most. Are you ready to now give Alec his proper due? Because you were very bullish on him most of the season. He has found his way. He has found his role. And from jump, he's the dude who set the tone.
I am. I'll go there for you. He had a good game yesterday. He's actually been playing really good towards the end of the season, defense and offense. There's some times where throughout the season where he just annoyed me. And I get it. I mean, but
10 and 12 plus minus was 17.
Listen, he played really good. He's playing really good lately. And
scrappy.
I respect the guy. Came back to Lincoln, going to school with his sister. He's very involved in the community, which you got to respect. The dude's just a player. And yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy he's here. I am. And I think he's playing well at the right time.
Two gentlemen with double-doubles last night. You had Josiah Alec, 10 and 12. Also, Juwan Gary, 15 and 11. You also got your other senior. By the way, gives CJ a shout-out. He hit a couple big threes. He hit one that was a momentum buster because it could have gone the other way to Rutgers. He hits one as they had just hit one. But what can be said about a very lackluster start for Keisei Tamanaga, but going on a 10-2 stretch himself, scoring 12 straight for Nebraska, including the 4-point play, which we finally got what?
You're so good at that.
We got it.
You're so good at
You
that.
were waiting when we were going to get it. We got the 4-point play, which just, I'm sure the roof fell off.
Oh, man.
Off PBA last night.
There was a lot of people watching the game at TAV, and that was for sure the loudest the building was from that
boom.
shot.
How many people gave you the?
Oh, oh my God. You are so good at that. Yeah, a lot of people were doing that.
Yeah.
Man, that was a hell of a shot.
Big time shot last night. Casey again had a 10-2 personal run himself, scored 12 straight from Nebraska, finishes 6 of 13, only made the 1-3, 5 free throws, 18 points. Did have a plus 20 last night. Like I said, CJ got it going just a little bit, a couple threes. One was big in the momentum. But Nebraska, when you look at it overall in this thing, their defense was really good. Rutgers was terrible for a long time shooting the basketball. They were 11 of 32 in the first half alone, only 10 of 32 in the second half. Kept getting really bad for them. They shot 33% on the day for them. But, man, you look at the rebounds. How about Nebraska? If you remember the first matchup, they got out tough. They got out rebounded. Again, we did not have Juwan Gary for most of that game because he was injured. You see the impact that he was able to make, but you win the boards, +4 on the boards yesterday. And let's say, how about 14 offensive rebounds for a Nebraska team?
Love it. We're all going to miss Casey. There has never been a player like him to play in PBA. We are going to miss him so much. I mean, can you even think of a player close to what he gave us?
As man, I told you, I can't wait to, because I had a great text string going on with Shu and T. We'll get to those guys on Wednesday and talk about that. But in my recent memory, I don't remember or maybe recall such a polarizing figure in Nebraska basketball. I mean, I think there was a lot of beloved. Siobhan Shields comes to mind, very loved. But coming in of via Japan, the JUCO route,
and the expectations.
Right.
It took him a few seasons.
At one point, the Japanese Curry.
And it took him a few seasons to actually.
It did.
Settle in. And
2 seasons ago, the back half is when he really got it going.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the expectations of Big Ten preseason, first team, all of that. Will he make that team? Probably not. But he has produced so many memorable moments and big-time shots and big-time plays. But I don't remember one as polarizing as Keisei Tamanaga has been.
And I'm so happy that he's our player, because if he was on any other team, I'm sure we wouldn't like the guy.
No, you couldn't stand him. We have players like that now that we don't like.
Exactly.
Yeah. Could you imagine Keisei being in a different uniform running
doing that? We would hate him.
Oh, my God.
We would hate him.
We would boo him.
But he's ours.
But he is ours. And, again, last night they get it done. Now they step closer. What is up for Nebraska next? They got the game at Michigan on, I believe, next Sunday, right? A week from yesterday. They'll go there at 11 o'clock in the morning, trying to wrap up the illustrious, elusive that has eluded Nebraska for a few years. It is the double bye. All they need to do is win.
Yeah, we're 0-2 in double bye games since joining the Big Ten. And, I've talked to some people, too. Some people don't want us to get that double bye. Some people like having the single bye, so you get a game under your belt, But those games, the Big Ten is, pretty even.
I'll take the double bye every day of the week.
I will, too. I'm on your side.
Again, I also sit here and tell you, we've talked about we're in the tournament right now. We're in. I think we're in now. We're just in.
Yeah, I know. We're in.
We're just in.
Lock it in.
What about Michigan? Here's the deal. The Michigan game is Michigan is currently on the other side right now. They're a quad. When we go there, there'll be a quad 2 game. You have finished the season out with no bad losses.
Mm-hmm.
What do I mean by that? No 3, no 4 quad losses.
Yep.
You've done what you're supposed to do at that point. You're in the tournament now. It's just a seeding situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at a lot of the outlets right now, and again, we're looking at Kim Pom and stuff. 34 in the Kim Pom, 43 in the net. As we woke up this morning, and you're seeing yourselves, Joe Lenardi, he's got you as a 9 seed out in Memphis right now. Jerry Palm still got you at the 10 seed out in Indy, and Indy Cats, his projected to 9 out in Brooklyn right now. Again, this is going to swing all over the place. I've said this before. I want them to continue to win for sure, right? Go get Michigan, get the double bye, get a win there. There's a sweet spot. Like Nebraska, and I know I can't be picky when I say this, and I am going to be a little picky. And it is what it is. I'd like Nebraska to be in that 7 or 10 spot. 8-9 games are tough. We're a tough basketball team, but then you end up getting the 1 seed versus getting a 2 seed.
Yeah.
In the second round.
But
I can't be picky. I know I'm being a little
who cares?
Asking for a lot.
Who cares about you are being very picky.
I am.
For how often we make the tournament,
I know.
you need to relax.
I know, but I just want to I'm picky.
I just want us to get one win. Who cares what happens after that? Just give me a win. And by the way, I'm super nervous about that.
About what?
About going to the tournament.
Why are you nervous?
Because our dream can end like that.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody's can. But the fact that honestly, what could be said about what the job that Fred and staff have done?
No, it's beautiful.
He doesn't get a lot of that. And obviously, they don't want to be in that limelight, but they found a way to get a team together that likes each other, that loves each other. They evolved to play hard. There's a different champ every night that comes to play. You know, there's a lot of dudes that they've done, and the staff changes they've made to get to this point.
And some of the bad teams we've had. I mean, you know, it took Hoiberg a few years to get it going as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he had some pretty bad teams. So the fact that we're actually, I mean, it just proves that the process, patience pays off.
How many guys also last night, speaking of the pool or whatever Fred Hoiberg does or what he has, is to look up, and I would have wanted to guess how many people actually knew this gentleman was actually who he was in the crowd last night, and Kevin McHale.
Yeah, what was he doing there?
Former Boston Celtics legend, I think 7-time champion, Hall of Famer. What was he doing there? Him and Fred are buds, man. Yeah, remember Fred played for him in his last season. He was the Timberwolves coach. And then McHale hired him.
I understand why they're friends. It's hard to
He's
believe.
been following the club, man. Maybe it's a he's been following the club.
Should we get him on staff?
No. McHale doesn't want that, man. He's playing golf and stuff. He just got his it's a beautiful day in Lincoln. He made his way to come see Fred.
Kevin McHale,
7-time champion, I believe.
He had a cameo in Cheers.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Pretty cool though. Like,
no, it is cool. See him talking to the post game in the locker room after.
But I wonder when he came in the post game, somehow how tough they were and everything. And the only person that knew who he was probably Sam, because Sam had met him before. Because McHale is older than all of those guys.
Yeah, but I'm sure they all know who he is.
I think in those teams, he's probably like, if you didn't follow the Celtics or know that era, you would name 3 other 4 guys before you name Kevin McHale. Parrish, Bird, DJ.
Yeah, but as
Danny
a coach.
As a coach, yeah.
I'm sure they know him as a coach. And not
definitely as a player.
Not a very successful coach, I might add.
No, but he did come back as a general manager, and that's where he hired Fred in that VP role.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. Yeah,
that's really cool.
And so we're done at PBA, man.
We're done.
Another special season.
It's very special because we're going to take a break and we're going to talk to Evan Bland. But after we talk to Evan, we are going to talk about how special that place has been, and something that I thought would never be created is actually happening down at PBA. So let's take our first break. We'll come back with Evan Bland.
More next on the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Ryan Will is on the Alec train. Go Zaya. Love that. He says the 6-year-old calls him Go Zaya.
I need to keep talking bad about him, though, because every time I say something bad, he does something great.
Yeah. Go Zaya. Gary can get up, man. That was another play last night. Ryan mentioned that.
I haven't seen that one yet.
The putback dunk was sweet.
That, yeah.
The one-handed putback was sweet. Check that box. Offensive rebound putback.
That's so cool. I love a good putback dunk.
Well, you could see. I mean, Nebraska just found a way to be the tougher team. You know,
that's what they've been doing at home all year.
Did you also notice? Did you even get a chance to watch, or just a little bit?
Not as much as I wanted.
They got the high step in referee.
We had high knees. We had
high knees last night. High Knees was in the building.
Yeah.
Was he also, I wasn't there, but I did hear this, and maybe somebody was there. The High Knees guy, was he the one? There was a moment in the game at halftime. They were leaving and they were booing because there was a couple, again, Nebraska gets hazed all the time. That I believe it was him or one of the other officials, as they were apparently the boos were so loud, and they were doing this on the way out, asking to be booed even more.
The officials?
Yes. There was tweets going out about it the entire time.
That's crazy.
That he was like pumping the crowd up.
No way. Wow. I'm surprised.
BS.
They are not supposed to be doing that, I'm sure.
I almost said something else, but I can say it now.
You can say it right now. We're on break.
I'm going to try to get my gum chewing in real quick.
Yeah. You guys noticed last week Hooks is chewing his gum into the mic?
I'm just doing it now so I can have a little. It still ain't easy right now.
I know, but goddamn.
3 weeks. Can you?
Evan Bland. Yeah. How about the baseball team?
Yes, Chomper. Yes. Shut up, Ernesto.
Keep it coming, Ernesto. Baseball team getting the sweep.
Boy, that's 6 out of 7 against a couple of opponents that give you RPI boost. I've seen it anywhere. I know it's early, but like we're a top 10, top 5, maybe number 1.
I think I saw yesterday that we were number 1. We're dropped down to 3
in RPI.
in RPI.
Well, because somebody else played after us or something. But who? That's
You got Clemson and Arkansas ahead of you. Arkansas.
Of course they did.
Well, that's exciting, man.
The early bats. Well, you know what? What's been really nice is that pitching has been good enough, long enough to allow the bats to catch up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you had to come from behind in all of those games?
Every one of these games. I think we've come behind every game. You're getting quality starts all over the board, man. Gum gone. Good stuff. Hooks inspired me to quit. Attaboy. I'm here for you, Ryan. Ryan said I inspired him to quit the Zen.
You're quitting, Ryan? Another one bites the dust.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Happy Monday. Happy Victory Monday. We're our guy from the Omaha World Herald, Evan Bland. Evan, happy Victory Monday.
It's to the point where I don't even know what sport we're talking about, but it applies to so many. But yeah, happy Monday.
It does. I want to ask you before we get to baseball, because of they're doing good stuff right now, is Pinnacle Bank Arena. We're about, after this, and we're going to talk about Pinnacle Bank Arena. But the Nebraska basketball finishes the season 18-1 at home, most victories at a home team in the history of Nebraska. But talk a little bit about like the inception of Pinnacle Bank Arena and where it is now and what's been created there.
Well, it's really cool. I mean, what's not to like about it? The way that it's popped up in the Haymarket district, and so you have all sorts of restaurant options and entertainment options beforehand. You walk over there. There are hotels adjacent to the facility, and then you get in there and they just put on a good show. It's different than Memorial Stadium, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's the tradition at Memorial Stadium. There's in some ways almost the obligation of the sellout streak and keeping that going. I think what PBA has done has just brought a fresh approach to a lot of, going to a major Husker sporting event. From everything to the crowd hype videos beforehand to, having the students right on the court, which is different from football. It's been I think an opportunity for Nebraska, a major sport to sort of create its own thing, let its own thing breathe and evolve. And forever no sit Sunday was the standard from a decade ago. And, I think this year really just puts on this full display. Like if you have a product that people can relate to, if you have a product that is successful, then fans are going to show out, and it's going to be a really cool environment. And it's been loud all year, and the attendance numbers would tell you that it's been a top 10 venue just for attracting fans. It seems like every time Nebraska, a visiting team would come in, you'd hear from coaches and players just really impressed with what it's been like. So it's been really cool to see it evolve. And, it's not Devaney. Devaney struggled, I think, at times to be modern and to fill out crowds. But PBA has really done that. And again, you align that with a successful product, and you have what's been a pretty special season.
Evan, and it was the last time we're going to see Keisei Tominaga at PBA. Talk about what kind of player he's been to the fan base. Put it in perspective. I mean, is there any player that compares to what Keisei's done these last 3 years?
I mean, he's just such a unique player. Like just the reactions, the emotion that he wears on his sleeves. I thought the sequence that he hit the 3-pointer last night and puts his elbows up and his hands on his face and covers his eyes. Like that's just fun stuff. Like who can't relate to a guy like that? And I think there's something I've always thought this about a guy like Steph Curry, and I think it applies to Tominaga too. Like his skill set is one that in theory, like everybody can have, right? Like he's not genetically, he didn't win the genetic lottery in terms of dunking and size, but like his logo 3-pointers, how he can get on a heater, his reverse layups and cuts and things like that. I think that's just the kind of thing that everyone's like, okay, I think you can relate to a player. A common fan can maybe relate to a player like that a little bit more. So you combine all that with the fact that he's, stuck with Nebraska during a turnaround from, the first team he was on with Nebraska 2 years ago wasn't that good. And now he's going to get a chance almost certainly to play in the NCAA tournament. How fun is that? And you add in just the fact that he's even a bigger celebrity back home in Japan, and they've had a presence, their media's had a presence in Nebraska too. So really cool to see. And I think maybe the most exciting part is maybe the best is yet to come.
Again, we're speaking to Evan Bland, Omaha World Herald. Evan, let's go to baseball. Boy, they have been, I don't want to call them cardiac kids yet, but it feels like that in the last couple of series with a lot of comeback wins. But I want to focus more on the pitching and that rotation and bullpen and everything, the job they've done. Because I just told Will that I said the pitching has been really good. Like, what do you mean? Because, they've held on long enough for the bats to wake up in the last 2 series.
Yeah, it's been the pitching so far. I mean, the fielding, I think has room to improve, certainly. The offense has room to improve. I mean, you consider the fact that they just swept College of Charleston. They hit 1 home run all weekend. Like they've been generating it in different ways. I think they can still get better as a clutch offense. They got a little bit better again last weekend, but you figure to see that continue to rise. But yeah, the steady, the old reliable to this point has been the pitching, and some of it's been the rotation. I think Drew Christo coming on is certainly a major storyline. Brett Sears settling in as sort of the ace of the staff to this point is certainly notable. But I think the depth of the staff is maybe the thing that you look at in terms of being sustainable for the whole year. I mean, it seemed like every game last weekend, Nebraska would go to the pen and you'd have 3, 4, 5 guys come on and throw scoreless appearances or limit the damage. And it's just Nebraska hasn't had that kind of depth in a while, that kind of quality depth. And so you're really going to start to see that here in the coming weeks when they start playing midweek games. But to this point, yeah, it's sort of allowed Nebraska to continue to win and win on the road, right? They haven't been home yet, to win on the road, even while some of those other aspects, the defense, the offense, hasn't, maybe popped to this point like it will. And that's I think that's another area for optimism is traditionally in baseball, that other stuff comes along, especially if you're a northern school. The defense gets better as the weather warms up. The bats get better as the weather warms up. So if you combine that with what you've already seen from Nebraska, suddenly this thing has the potential to get pretty exciting pretty quickly.
Just to tag along with the pitching just a little bit, I think it's the free pass thing too. And again, I love the stats of this. I believe but I'm looking at they've pitched almost 80, a little over 89 innings, only give up 27 free passes on the bases right now with walks, and they're getting closer to that number that Coach Childress wants, that 3-1 number.
Yeah, and to reach that number, like, that's hard to do. I think 6 teams did it last year. LSU didn't do it last year. They won the national title. They were close. But, yeah, that's sort of the standard that you're looking for, 3 strikeouts per every walk. And, like, a few guys will hit that, right? It's not uncommon for certain players to hit that. And I think Brett Sears is on track for that. Will Walsh last year maybe did it, Kyle Perry. But, like, to do it as a staff would be really impressive. And I think that's when you talk about the Rob Childress effect of him being back on the sidelines or in the dugout. That's probably where you start. And I think they would also tell you there's room for the strikeout numbers to grow. We've seen that a little bit with Sears and a couple of the bullpen pieces, but I think that's another spot, maybe with Christo and Will Walsh and some guys where you even feel like, yeah, there's probably room for that to grow too. And like, I think it's important to remember through the lens of the college game, like, unlike maybe the major leagues, like at the college level, so often it's about who screws up the least, right? It's not always who makes the big play. It's like who avoids the error, who avoids the free pass, who avoids the wild pitch. And, when it comes to pitching, Nebraska's done a really good job avoiding giving out those free bases, making the other team earn what they have. And, again, I think there's just a lot of room for Nebraska to improve even from what it's done so far. And so for them to come back home 7-3 against a pretty good schedule before they have even set foot on Haymarket Park, I think this should give you a ton of optimism for still maybe what the ceiling of this team can be.
We're talking to Evan Bland. Evan, on the Saturday game, we saw Casey. Is it Casey Dice? Is that how you say his last name?
Dice, yep.
So he came in, and the last time we saw him, he was getting walked off by Oklahoma. How did you like his bounce back and his response? How did he look?
Yeah, bounced back well. I mean, he's the guy that Nebraska sort of identified as a closer late in the fall, and he held it through the spring. He had done it at previous stops in his college career. And so, you kind of felt like they weren't going to give up on him just from the one outing in Arlington. He was unavailable for the Grand Canyon series. I think just early fatigue and things like that. But yeah, for him to bounce back the way he did was huge. And I mean, you could say the same about so many guys last weekend. If you're going to win 3 games, twice rallying in the 9th, and then a third time rallying in the 9th from a tie game, like, there's not a lot of margin for error there. You need your high leverage guys to be high leverage guys. And so Dice was one of them, Perry, Timmerman, Evan Borst. You can kind of go down the list, and there were just a number of players that stepped in key situations. Jalen Worthley, and did a good job. So Dice is a key part of what they want. Kyle Freilich, somebody we haven't seen a ton of yet, who I think is also a big part of it. Rand Sanders, like, a year ago, late in the year, like, you could probably name 4 or 5 guys that Nebraska would trust in a big spot. And I think that number's 8, 9 right now, just from how guys have done in the off season and up to this point. So really encouraging. Dice is a big part of that. And I think we'll see those pitching roles continue to be defined as we head here into March.
Evan, we're not too far away now that we've been on the road for a while. We're going to be back and open up at Haymarket Park here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, set against South Alabama. 3-game set. And obviously we're going to get the good weather, 49 degrees for a couple of those games, and maybe a good Sunday at 6 if it gets there. But with only 3 games, could you just predict what that rotation looks like? Because you come off 4-game sets where Christo gets the early start, then you get the other 3, but what that might look like this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the order is going to be, they're going to have to do something to shuffle it up a little bit. I know they like to keep guys on as regular of rest as you can, but they started Christo last Thursday. So, just from a rest perspective, maybe it would make sense that you go Christo Friday, Brett Sears Saturday. And I think Will Walsh is probably your Sunday guy at this point. I mean, we saw Caleb Clark start the first few weekends. He came on in relief this past weekend here. So I don't know that he's done enough to stay in over those other guys. So my guess is they would just push everybody back a day and go Christo, Sears, and then Will Walsh. But that kind of remains to be seen. And then I think beyond that, you have the 2-game series at Wichita State in the midweek after that. I'll be really curious to see if that's a spot maybe for Ryan Herald to get a start. Maybe Caleb Clark slides back into a Tuesday starting role. So we kind of have some other things to figure out too. But I do think certainly Christo and Sears have more than earned their spots. I know Walsh only went, I think, into the 3rd or 4th inning on Sunday. So maybe not the length quite that they were looking for there, but he's still done enough when you consider last season. I think he'd probably be your Sunday guy.
Now, Evan, I know it's early, and in the past few seasons, RPI has been tough to come by, especially being in the Big Ten. But if you look right now, NCAA Division I RPI, Nebraska's sitting 3rd in the nation. Kind of keep me down to earth. Is it too early to kind of be freaking out about this?
Yeah, number 3 national seed. They'll be hosting regionals and super regionals here coming up now. Yeah, it's a little quirky, right? Like, and a year ago at this time, Nebraska they weren't quite this high, but they were pretty high. If you remember, a year ago they beat Vanderbilt, and they had a pretty strong couple of weeks, and then they really faded, and they were in like the hundreds for most of the rest of the year. But it's one of those things where like you're not locking in your regional bid right now, but it helps a lot to be in the spot a few weeks into the season. Like Nebraska too often has been on the other side where maybe they're in the 70s or the 80s, and it's really hard when you get into conference play to make that up and to earn your way back. So if you're 3rd right now, and I think for a short time Sunday night Nebraska was 1 actually, like that's a far better spot to be in. And I think you combine that with the fact that Nebraska's non-conference schedule the rest of the way is stronger than it's been. I mean, you're not playing Omaha 3 times. You're not playing, North Dakota State multiple times. You're not. You're adding in teams like Wichita State. They brought Kansas back on the schedule. They've added another game, a second game with Kansas State, and so these are all games that can actually help your cause, and they don't hurt even if you, if you win them, like the way they have in the past with teams like Northern Colorado. So I think Nebraska's scheduled better. They've taken care of business better. And, again, you're probably not going to be 5 into May just because of the nature of the Big Ten schedule. But you've absolutely put yourself in a spot to be, in a comfortable spot in May to where maybe you don't have to win the Big Ten. It's just a better spot for Nebraska than it's been in quite a while.
Well, Evan, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for your time. Hopefully this week and one bundle up, and if everybody's going out there, but it'd be nice to watch this team play, play from ahead instead of and see how they are as front runners a little bit.
Yeah, you probably don't. I mean, that's the funny thing. That's how they're designed, right? Like to play from ahead and lean on the bullpen and not rally. So maybe they'll flip the script.
Awesome, Evan. Thanks for your time, my friend. We'll talk to you real soon.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Evan Bland, Omaha World Herald. Always good stuff from him. So let's take a break. We need to go through this stream. There's something going on with this stream that we got to figure out, and we'll talk about PBA Magic when we come back.
You're listening to the Morning Hookup with Bill Hooks and Will Wilson. More coming up. You
introduce someone, and they you get them to kind of like each other, and you just let them start talking. They just carry the conversation.
Yeah,
that's happening right now in the stream
between Ryan and Ernesto.
They're carrying this conversation.
Well, you apparently are helping a lot of people in life. You have Ernesto slowing down on booze. You have Ryan quitting Zyn.
That's what this life's about. Helping others. Ain't about us.
Well, I'm still addicted to Zyn, so
we'll get you off of it. It's here's also it's like you set actions out. You don't project on others, and it's all in due time. You make decisions.
Thank you, Hooks.
When you want to make the decision.
Thank you.
Can't force somebody to go to rehab if they don't want to go.
They wanted me to go to rehab.
But you can surround yourself with people that have your best interests and will tell you how it is when it's time.
Surround yourself with good people.
That's right. And we have this show. We have surrounded ourselves with some great people.
You know who else has?
Who?
LeBron James.
Huh?
LeBron James has surrounded himself with very smart people.
I'm sure you're going to tell me all about this in some point.
Well, no, it's just a fact. I mean, the dude has never gotten in trouble ever.
Yeah,
right?
True.
He's had some.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying now.
I'm just saying that, like, one of the reasons he's so successful is because he has smart people around him.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, Claire.
Absolutely.
All about spreading positivity.
I've always said that. Did I say that the other day? I was telling somebody about this, about, like, depends on the person, right? Depends on the person's situation. But, like, I read this thing of, like, if you're within 10 feet of someone and you make eye contact, you should always smile. And if it's within 4 to 5 feet of a person, you make eye contact, you should say, hey, how are you?
Yeah. This is why I don't honk when I'm driving.
Honking's ridiculous. It's stupid.
I don't honk. I have a theory that it brings people down.
It does.
It makes them feel bad.
It does. Because sometimes when you honk, people just made a slight mistake.
Yeah, my buddy Colin, Colin, he loves to honk.
Yeah.
He loves putting people
when
down.
you were in Ireland on your trip, did you hear anybody honk?
I don't think so.
I remember being out there. I don't think I heard one horn honk. They were like, oh.
There's probably a few cabbies.
Yeah, they must need that spot. Like, it's like when you lose something or maybe somebody steals something, but whatever. Maybe they just needed it more than you did, and that's okay.
Will should know that. Oh, be careful.
Oh, Claire.
Be careful, Claire.
We cannot say that.
We don't really bring up that restaurant on the show.
No, Claire.
Because Hooks has a different.
Claire.
Yeah.
My Amazon thing is 2 deliveries away. Meep, meep. Come on, Claire. Can you just change that name?
Claire and I worked there together.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'll never let you live it down or forgive you. When did that day you wore that stupid shirt in on the show?
That was one of the first weeks of me joining the sports show.
And you wore a competitor's chicken shirt on the show. And you didn't really.
I didn't have any idea.
Yeah.
I didn't think you.
That was pretty funny, though.
That was really funny. All right. Hooks picked the music today, by the way.
I did. It's kind of a little themed. If you've been to Husker basketball, the first 2 songs you've heard already. You've already, you know. You just know.
Stay there.
It's magic, you know. Never believe it's so.
Welcome back in the morning hookup.
Ozempic. Ozempic.
Welcome back. Special thanks to our friend, the Omaha World Herald, Evan Bland. We appreciate you talking baseball with us. The theme of that, man, I wanted to bring that up because I asked Evan about Pinnacle Bank. I saw games in Devaney. Did you? I don't think you ever seen a basketball game in Devaney, did you?
What?
Did you? I'm just thinking back.
How old do you think I am?
Well, you're 25, but I don't. I can't remember. I'm just asking.
I remember going to Devaney a lot, especially that last season.
And it was older, and it just didn't have it. But
there were some good crowds, though. Don't get me wrong,
for sure. But Evan mentioned it. Like when Pinnacle Bank was built, you got the locals, right? Like everything. Like you got the rail yard, you got businesses, bars, all that, which bolstered that part. Made people want to go downtown. But what has happened in the short time it's been there inside, I think is something I didn't think would ever happen.
What do you mean? I might disagree with you.
Never thought. And again, a good product makes this happen. There is a distinct over, I would say, maybe the last 3 or 4 years, there's a distinct home court advantage at Pinnacle Bank. You know what I mean? Like when you go to place, and again, I'll shout them out, like Allen Fieldhouse, distinct advantage for Kansas to play there, right? At Puke, Cameron Indoor, distinct advantage. You can keep naming them. There's distinct advantages, but it took PBA a little bit to get there. But now when you walk in, it's a tough place to play. They struggled with that early on to get that. The product wasn't great, but now it's evolved. They've made it fun to go to. They've made it interesting in the area. they keep making changes. I know some people don't like it or whatever, but adding the food, the beer, whatever. But there is a distinct, finally, when you walk in, when teams come to town, they're like, oh, crap, we got to bring it. I don't think that was always the case. And I'm not just saying this year, but I think it's evolved over the last few years.
Especially the last 2 years, especially the end. You saw it at the end of last season.
Yes.
We were beating, Wisconsin, Maryland at home.
Yes.
But this season especially, and even think back to the first season in PBA where you only lost one game and it should have been a win against Michigan.
Yes.
Like this is 2 times we've seen this team or a Nebraska team only lose one game at home. It's a huge, huge advantage. And it's amazing.
Students show out when they can. Obviously, there's Christmas break time when they're not there. But I think you start to see the students are just so engaged. And again, it's the product. Product makes people stay, by the way. Not leave at the under 8, under 4.
You sold out the last 4 games.
You sold out.
Right now, you have a sellout streak.
Sellouts going on.
Nebraska basketball has a sellout streak.
You just feel it now.
It's special.
And I never thought
we're
they'd
lucky.
Get there. We're very lucky.
We're very lucky.
That even on not just the sellouts, but even on like normal Tuesday, I always talk about this at Devaney, right? With volleyball. Sold out, doesn't matter, Tuesday night, Friday night, Penn State, Townsend State, right? It's happening in Lincoln now with basketball the last few years. It has not mattered who you're playing on a Tuesday night. That you'll get 8,000 to 10,000, not a sellout, but a good enough crowd to make a difference.
Because
I've been to games, some at Devaney, some at Pinnacle Bank previously, where there was no advantage of people being there for 8,000 quiet.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
You need a good team to kind of complement that.
But I'm just
on the women's side too.
Yes.
Think about Iowa this season.
Yes.
It really is. We're very lucky.
It's special, and we can go through all the special moments we've seen so far.
And let's not forget that this program has never won an NCAA tournament
and
game.
People are going to go, well, there's nothing to do. That's bull crap.
Well,
there's so many people right now. Go look at the season ticket numbers that make the decision every offseason to click the button, yes, I want to do it again. At a high rate.
And it's going to continue.
At a high rate.
It's going to continue. I mean, you're bringing back a majority of this team. And if Hoiberg can hit the portal a little bit.
Yes, they have the decision to come back. Now, will they all come back? I would assume they would. But they have the decision. Like C.J. Wilcher walked. Obviously, he has a decision to make.
Right. Yeah.
Can still do. Bryce Williams, decision to make. Did not partake. Will they? Mass, decision. Juwan Gary, decision.
If they all decide to come back.
They all decide to come back.
This PBA is going to be.
I think you're starting to work with a nucleus that can develop others to continue and get on a pattern of success.
It's been 10 years, PBA. Just over 10 years.
Over 10.
It's
and the environment, man. I want to do this. I'll shout this out. Give Tim Miles credit because he wanted that place to be a party. Because he was kind of off his rocker too, but it became a party.
When you
look down and he's in a defensive stance, getting the crowd into it, all the music, all that. He was I know he wasn't very successful. He had success here, but not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But give him credit because he started that.
There was a great article written in the Star Tribune up in Minnesota. This was after Minnesota came to town just last week, right? And Ben Johnson, head coach for the Gophers, he was on that. He was on Tim Miles' staff.
Yes.
He was on the staff, I believe, the first year of PBA.
Yes,
it was either.
I'm pretty sure he was.
It was either that team or the last team at Devaney. Okay, it was one of those two. But he complimented Miles so much of doing exactly what you just said, like making PBA a party.
It's supposed to be that
entertainment.
And Nebraska fans are very smart in the sport they go watch. So now it's not just a party with randos watching a game. They're into it. They're in tune with what's going on. It's just become that place that I never thought it would.
And it's just the fan base overall.
I think the early success of it was, oh, look, it's the Railroad. We have a nice arena to play in. Look at all the restaurants and bars we have to go to before the game. Yay!
Dude, and this fan base.
And it's evolved.
This fan base is hungry too.
Very hungry.
I mean, Nebraska basketball has always had a unique fan base where we never really done anything big, but there's so many people out there that want to see this team succeed.
They do. There's not just fans, but there's former players that they all have the right mindset for this team.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a pattern of success you can see starting to evolve.
There's always been that small part of the fan base overall that, likes football, but loves Nebraska basketball.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'll always respect them.
My mom's husband has been a season ticket holder for 30 plus years.
They're
enduring all of this for 30 plus years. Has actually had conversations with me over the last 4 or 5 going, I don't know if I can do it anymore. But they continue to hang on and click the button. Yes.
It's the most.
And now it's hopefully this. I would say now they are successful this year. I know we're going to deem this whole thing, this season, success on a tournament win. I get that. But what they've done so far has united everyone, united that team, and it is successful right now at the end of the day. I know we want that win. One game at a time, but PBA has created something pretty special.
It really has.
I'm just impressed by it.
It really
and I've been to most of the games, they're home games. And I'm one that has always stayed to the end, but it's like, you can feel it over the last few years. How special it is to get down there.
So lucky.
So who do we have real quick? We have anybody on the line?
Let's see if they're still here. I kind of forgot.
Sorry about that. Good morning. You're on the morning hookup. Hello. Good morning.
Nah, I guess
that's
right.
There. Sorry about that. Call back 402-489-1240. Sorry about that. Greg said he remembers going into the Devaney Center before the building was open to the public.
Greg, how old are you?
Watch it. That's not nice. Colin also wants you to know, he said, Will, what the hell are you talking about? It's a nudge, not a negative form of communication.
Not the way you do it.
Hey, good morning on the morning hookup.
Yeah, this is Jeff Bryden. I wasn't the previous caller, but I'll make this quick. I think that we need to get a tournament win, yes. But I think this year, Fred Hoiberg's type of team that he's developed is the type of team that is sustainable to help us compete in the Big Ten and make the tournament and win some tournament games in the future. And that's what I'm looking at. And I'm also looking at the fact that I believe Trev Alberts, that it's trickled down. The teams at Nebraska right now have a lot of unity. And I think that comes from the athletic department support. And I'm not totally drinking the Kool-Aid on all of it, but I feel better about Husker athletics than I have in quite a few years.
Absolutely,
Thanks for your time, guys. Great job.
Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Long-time KFOR employee.
Thanks, Jeff. Really appreciate that.
Radio legend.
I appreciate it,
there.
Jeff. Thank you. He nailed it. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the fact that Jeff all said Trev Alberts. Men's athletics has got some momentum. And then I know we're talking about just basketball. Basketball, there's something there. And I get it. That Fred has found a formula, whether it be with staff, Howard, Nate, all those guys.
I hope you're right.
But there's something of sustainable success that it looks like there's a good product.
I hope you're right. And I hate looking ahead because the season is far from over.
Mm-hmm.
But let's string something together.
Absolutely.
It could be every single time we've gone to the tournament the next year or been close to going to the tournament, the next year has always been down.
Again, but that's the talk that the culture that has been created. Maybe it's been over time, but for 1 year, let's just say that the team he put together, you have a core nucleus because a lot of people were worried about it when you lost Derek Walker and Sam Griesel, right?
Yeah.
But you just had Sam Hoiberg still there.
Mm-hmm.
The way they ended has now transferred to this whole entire year. And it'll make guys like Bryce Williams, Mass, and Gary go, ooh, I want to come back and do this one more time.
Exactly.
Let's write it one more time. So, all right, let's take another break, and we'll come back, and we'll serve some stories that we missed.
More next on the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Greg, I love you.
Yeah, Greg.
Greg, I love you.
He went to multiple games at the Coliseum. It's even better. That's real cool.
You're not helping my argument, Greg.
No, he owns a 61 well. We got a caller. That was good stuff. PBA has been awesome. Let's look at some stories. Stories coming up. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. No updates on bracketology so far. You know what's nice right now? And we'll know you're on the phone. What's nice? Well, you know what's nice right now?
Greg, I love you, by the way. You look good for 61, bro.
You know what's really nice right now, Will Wilson?
What?
Is the fact that we get to sit as like it's late in the season for Nebraska basketball, right? You have one game left. You know what you don't have to do this week?
What's that?
Worry about it until Sunday. Like, seriously, you get to sit back and go, you know? There's a lot of, boy, I tell you what, talking about magic that can be made. Like, you look at the college basketball as a whole, like, Nebraska doesn't worry about anything till Sunday. It'll all be like, all we need to do is win. You sit back and just go, oh, we just got to win. Everybody else got to play this week.
Yeah, even though I'm still nervous about going on the road to Michigan,
I know
the
you
doormat of the Big Ten.
You're sitting in the 4 spot, you win. Like, look at the cross. Like, there's so much cool stuff happening. Like, ACC basketball this week is going to be electric. Carolina holds a slim one-game lead over Puke. They play Saturday.
Oh, that's exciting.
Duke plays NC State tonight. Carolina's got Notre Dame, who's way down. They're going to play for the conference championship most likely or a tie.
I might want to watch that game with you. I want to see what you're like.
What do you got Saturday? Do you want to come over Saturday?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything.
5:30.
I want to see what you're like during a
come over.
Duke North Carolina
You're welcome.
game.
You're welcome. Put on your counter 5:30 on Saturday. I got nothing going on.
Should I bring my Prozac? You might need it.
You don't need that. I'll have enough. Like you look at, you're going to have a new champion in the Big 12, right? You're coming down to a 1-game lead this week for Houston over Iowa State. How about that?
Iowa State's a good team.
I mean, you come down to the Big East. The Big East is over. UConn's got a 3-game lead right now. It's just fun to watch all the SEC. Boy, talking about a good game. I watched Alabama and Tennessee. My goodness.
That was a good game. I watched a little bit of that.
Here's the deal. Alabama and Tennessee holds a 1-game lead over South Carolina and Alabama, depending on your record and stuff. But they're all on the conference record. They're 1 game.
Alabama just collapsed in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's not a clear power basketball team. Anybody can still lose any given night. Stay there.
Boom, 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 boom. Tell me what you gonna do, but it ain't nowhere to run.
You better start talking.
Welcome
get
back in the
flagged.
morning hook. I was singing. That doesn't count.
We're gonna get flagged on YouTube.
I was talking. Welcome back in the morning hookup. Good luck, Wilson.
We got Ernesto.
What up, Ernesto? Happy Monday.
Hey, let's set it off, man. Calvin Ridley. Should the Jags keep him?
Calvin Ridley? You keep Calvin Ridley? Yeah.
Yeah, that's there's a lot of talk in and out about that. And then the players, man, you guys are going to have to give me a golf pick that week, please.
Is that this week or next week?
Players this week, isn't it?
Is this week?
No, next week.
Is it next week?
Are you going down to that?
Oh, yeah. I'll go down.
That's right.
Have a few beers and an Uber ride home.
That's right. It's the Arnold Palmer. It's another big one this week, too, the Arnie.
Yep, no doubt. Hey, and I figured things out. Your program director uses a wind-up phone at home or maybe even a can and string. And he probably even has a jukebox in there somewhere. But
guaranteed a jukebox.
Ernesto, can we get a happy birthday KFOR from you?
Come on. We'll use this.
Happy birthday, KFOR. Let's get out of the Stone Ages and give my boys 2 hours.
Yeah. We appreciate you, big dog.
I love you guys. I want to thank my sponsor, Wager Talk. I went against them one time, and I lost some shillings. Woo!
Oh, you don't go against Wager Talk.
Man.
Uh-oh. The boss man's listening today.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
We'll get to stories we missed tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
He's plugging in.
Oh, no. Boss man. Uh-oh.
How does this work? My can and my string here.
Can you?
Yeah. Wave to our fans.
Everybody can see it now, boss man.
Let's go, guys.
There you go, boss.
Hey, how was Topeka?
I wasn't in Topeka. I was in Nashville this last week.
That's right. He's in Nashville. He was living it up in Nashville.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was. I did Nashville Monday till Friday. Got back Friday night. In the house at 11 o'clock. Up at 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. off to Shadron for softball.
Oh, that's right. You said you were going to do that. Go out there. His daughter plays out there. So
it was a lot of fun. So
yeah. So
been
you
a
heard
road
our
dog.
so you heard our fans just then.
I know, yeah. I do have a jukebox.
I know. That's
Several,
what I said.
actually.
I don't think he has. I know he has a cell phone. I know he has a jukebox.
Yeah, I got
Because
3
you're a collector of
Yeah.
jukeboxes and
jukeboxes. Yeah, I got 3 of them.
turntables.
Yeah, turntables, record players, vintage audio, all that stuff. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Boss, a happy 100th birthday
Happy
to
100th.
I know,
KFOR.
man. I'll tell you what, it's great to be involved with a radio station like this. I mean, you think about all the stuff that this station's done for the community, and we still, like to do for the community, and raising money for charities. And when the weather comes bad, I mean, nobody touches Jeff Mozart's storm coverage. Nobody touches that here in town. He is the best, and so it's a lot of fun being involved. It's I like the fact that I think where we are right now with our diverse programming, we've got we've got local, we've got sports, we've got news talk, news type stuff. So yeah, I think it feels a little more like it feels a little more like home in our 100th year. That's kind of what I'm feeling anyway.
Definitely. It's a cool thing, man.
And new talent like you. I mean, listen, I mean, it's great having Will on board and stuff like that. So
makes this
I mean, he's been with us for a couple of years now, but I mean, you look at the list of all these people that, I see on the Facebook post, and, through if you go to our website, by the way, kf4now.com, see all those pictures and all those people and stuff that come through here. Hey, just another generation of people. Here we are,
right.
Still doing what we do.
Yeah. We appreciate you, man.
It stood the test of time for sure. Now, I know that we're blessed to have. I know everybody wants us to get 2 hours, but we're blessed to have our 1.
I know.
For sure, okay?
We're
blessed.
Every time I put a schedule together for the radio station, I'm like, gosh, if I could have like 3 more hours in a day, I can get everything done we need to get done. So, yeah.
We know you're on our side.
All right, yeah. No, I know. So, yep.
All right.
We'll just take it away from Schmitty and Carol.
Yeah. I love it.
Hold a minute. I got to do this. That's my K-Say Tamanaga. Well, man, from Will and myself, the boss, man, and we appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a Victory Monday.
Happy birthday, KFOR.
Happy birthday, KFOR.
Guys, stay safe, stay blessed. We'll catch you on a Tuesday.